So let's talk. Where did this conversation come from?
About about moving our kids to the better schools and out the in the white neighborhood, quote unquote, big thing we want to.
Don't
Yeah.
lie now. You ain't got a lot to kick it.
Oh,
I said it. I said I don't care if it's white, black, or blue. My kids are going to the best schools. I could, if I got the money and they got the, and it's in a white neighborhood. Damn it, I said it. I can sit on what I said. I don't have a problem with it, and I don't care who mad with me. It's about my family, and that's who first. Period.
okay. Peace. Good evening, Candidly V. We see you. How you doing, sis? So,
Okay. So no, we want to
Andrea,
know. Yes,
I don't like when you say my family.
my family.
Can I
Why?
tell you why?
Say it. Come on, brother. Ain't nobody mad with you.
Because there's multiple families, like just like genus and species.
Uh
uh-oh.
And there's the
Uh-oh.
human family, but in
huh.
particular, we're talking about the black family right now. And what
Okay.
happens is
Uh-huh.
if you take your children to these highfalutin areas,
Uh-huh.
a- and then my children go to the gutter
Mm-hmm.
because they left there.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is then my children have a higher propensity to cannibalize your children, right or wrong.
I don't see it that way.
That's a
I
hell of
don't
a
see it.
reach, bro.
I don't see it that way. I
That's a
see
hell of a
I
reach.
see I see me taking care of my family
Help
first.
me, or my kids are gonna rob
Yeah,
yours.
let me take care of my family, and then if my family's taken care of, I can help the other families, and that's how I was taught. Families first.
Nah, don't worry about it. By that time, we'll be ready to help ourselves to your shit, and you won't have to volunteer.
That sounds. But do you understand just making that type of statement? What that says about you, or whatever socioeconomic class that you belong to? What you're stating is, if you don't help me, we're going to take your shit. That's
Is
that.
that not the nature
But that's
of
not. I'm
things
asking.
in
So is
man
that
of the
what you're
world?
stating? I just want to confirm that's the feelings you actually espouse.
What there's a difference between how I necessarily believe versus what I know to be true. So
Okay.
there's things
So
as
what
they
is
are and things as you wish they should be.
Okay.
so then which one? So which one are you speaking to? The thing you speaking to the way that they are? You believe
Things
that's
as
the
they
way that it
are.
is?
If you don't address it, it will address you. The end.
Mm,
Hmm. Funny thing is, so that kind of speaks to the point why when people become affluent or earn money, they move to a different place. They move to a different place because understanding the laws of socioeconomics and situational dynamics. Remember, we gave that whole metaphor was if you had a little skinny 90-pound man with $4,000 in his pocket and some invisible pants, and then there was 20 rugged, hungry, jailhouse looking, muscular dudes in there, would you think it would be more likely or not, based on those situational dynamics, that man will not leave with that money in his pocket, right?
All
And
facts.
we all agreed, right? We all agreed on that. So what I'm
You trying to
stating,
remove yourself from the room with them 90-pound men, or to remove that man from that room under those circumstances, as opposed to finding a way to utilize those men and
well, hold on,
allowing them to be your protectors.
you got to let me land my plane, right? So in terms of that particular situation, wouldn't it make sense that once I started to earn a certain amount of money and be able to have nicer things and own a better home, wouldn't it make sense for me to move away so that I don't flaunt my wealth in front of these other folks, and so that I don't keep myself within a situation where I potentially can become a victim?
I think you're illuminating a bigger issue, which is if I make a little bit more money, I got to spend a little bit more money to have
But
things
but I'm
that
asking
are
you a
that are.
question though.
I'm
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 asking you a
I'm answering
question.
I'm answering your question.
Okay.
If if I feel like because I make more money, I gotta have flashier shit, and you damn right, you probably should move away from hungry people with big plates of food. You know what I mean? I'm just that just makes common sense.
So
So,
when you say flashy, because you said flashy, if I was driving a beater when I was making $18,000 a year,
mm-hmm,
and then now I'm making $75,000 a year, and I want to get a newer car, nobody said that I'm going to be getting a Bentley. I mean, the hood recognizes when you move up from a beater to a Honda Accord. You understand what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm.
flashy, when you say flashy, that's an extreme, right? I'm
Okay.
just talking about basic progress. Let's see. We'll see what one of the young bucks got to say about it. Interesting. Hold on 1 second.
So there are four things.
Pardon the technical delay, but I'm gonna run back before I get this clip situated. I want to run back to the point that you were saying about flashy. So let's try and get an overarching positioning in terms of where the conversation is and where we fall in the conversation.
Let me state my position clear so we don't be all over the
Okay,
place.
cool, perfect.
All right. Um, I personally believe that if you know better, you should do better, and if you can do better, you should. Um, but I don't think that necessarily means to move away, to extract yourself. But at the same time, because I think we're starting from a premise of coming from the hood. Everybody don't start off in the hood, but let's just assume that that's our baseline. Is if you're starting off from the hood, now you're doing better. I believe that yes, if you live a certain lifestyle or you feel the area you're in is dangerous for you, your children, your wife, however, to your property, whatever the case, you just sleep better at night in this other place. You just want to move to a different area because you never had the opportunity. You want to get out of those food deserts. There's a lot of reasons why people would want to move. So I don't think you should be pigeonholed to staying in a poverty and crime ridden area just because you're trying to keep it real. That's not my position. But I do say that if you out of sight, out of mind. So what I see is that when people move away, then they tend to try to forget. But at the same time, all of the things that we like the most happen in the hood. The best restaurants, some of the best party spots, some of the this and the that's. And that's why you see the rappers and the affluent people coming back and getting their head knocked off in these same places. Then we say, oh, why we do this to each other? Why we do this to each other? And nobody's reinvesting in these areas. Nobody's investing in people's education, financial or otherwise. So it's my position that yes, if you need to move, move, but we need to have a more directed effort instead of haphazard, people just doing what they feel, throwing what they want to throw in a collection plate. It needs to be intentional. We need to be tithing to a large extent and making sure that we give back just like you would give back to your alumni and your fraternity or whatever that you claim to be a part of. Once you make it, you have an obligation, in my opinion, to give back to better the situation and leave it better than you found it. That's all.
You're on mute, Chef.
Thank you. Andre, you want to speak your position?
You go ahead.
Oh, you want to be okay. My position. My position is this. Community starts at home. The initial community that you control, the initial variable of the community that you control is yourself. And then being the head of a household, prophet, priest, provider, protector, king, what have you, you have an additional responsibility to understand how your family moves and what responsibilities they have to the outside. We create the soldiers in our community. We create the variables within our own homes that we send out into the world. So I do believe that's the initial set of responsibility that we have, right? That's one. So a lot of times when we talk about hood stuff, ghetto stuff, all of that, it doesn't necessarily wrap within the dynamic of prison industrial complex and systemic racial oppression, because this is something that's overarching, which is socioeconomics. That means it affects poor people in general, regardless of what ethnicity they hold. Poor people, socioeconomics. So, with all of that being said, I believe that when you get what you get within the hood, you recognize what kind of soldier you can be. And if you are not a social justice warrior, that is not your ministry, then you step aside and you allow the social justice warriors that are able to command the same kind of income as you, allow them to stay in the hood and do all of that work. Because if you're not about that life, then you need to go on and move on. Another thing, I have zero problem with growth. I believe that if you do better, you should have better. You move to a better zip code, you get a better house. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm vehemently opposed to those, you never leave the hood. I'm going to be in the hood forever. And I'm vehemently opposed to people that state that you owe the hood something. We're going to talk about that. Watch this. I may piss people off, but you'll understand. You owe the hood nothing. Not a thing. You don't owe the hood a thing. But we're going to talk about that later. All right. Go ahead, Andrea.
And I'm heavily opposed to feel the same way. I don't owe the hood nothing. And if my daddy taught me and my mom taught me and the church taught me, first you got to take care of your family. And then after you take care of your family, you take care of everybody else. And I don't want to be shot, stabbed. And when I say hood mentality, it don't matter if you black or white, blue or purple. A hood mentality is a state of mind, not because I say where you live. A hood mentality, I could be living in a white neighborhood and still have a hood mentality, because that's what some black folks do. Even though they move into the white neighborhood, they'll put their lawn pit on the lawn. They'll be barbecuing in the front yard. So that's still a hood mentality to me. Okay, I'm just keeping it 100. And even when me and my kids lived in the hood, I always told them it was just a planning right now. When we gonna do better and never have a hood mentality, because we gonna get up out of here. And so I'm just saying is, and I had a father who said I have a wife and 7 kids, and I have to do better about that. And I didn't want my wife, my mom, coming out the house and get stabbed or shot. So he moved us out the hood into a better neighborhood, into a better school for his children, because he had 7. And I feel like that's nothing. I love my dad. We got our ups and downs, but all he done for the family, man, can't nobody measure up to my daddy for doing what he did for 7 kids and a wife. Nobody.
Peace
So
to pops. Peace to
so
pops.
so for taking us out, and nobody know who's gonna be actors in the family. Nobody know who's gonna be what. But I tell you this: my sister worked for a child care center. My older sister is a foster mom. I'm a foster mom. So he got actors in his family. He got soldiers who giving them back to the community. He didn't know that. My mama didn't know that. But they raised to give back in the church. They raised to give back on the street. And so I'm just saying is you gotta take care of your family first, and then you take care of everybody else. And that's my mentality. I don't care if it's a white neighborhood, a middle class neighborhood. If you know better, you do better. So if you make more money, you're gonna upgrade. That's me too. If I'm making good money, I'm upgrading my vehicle. That's what we all do. Who wants to not live in a nice house, a big house for the family if you want to upgrade and have all your family members come over? Because when you have a small house and everybody come over your damn house, he's like, when they leaving, they messing up my damn house. I'm just keeping it real. That's my perspective.
We love stuff instead of people.
I love both. How about that?
What does stuff have to do with anything? Why does moving to a nicer home mean that we love stuff? I don't understand.
I mean,
Like,
you live in the world I live in, Chef. We're not talking about no foreign subject.
But what's wrong with
what's wrong? You're saying that people like stuff. What is so? Question for you.
Not like stuff, love stuff. That's a big
So what does that have to do when
between
you're
the two
moving?
statements.
When you're moving from a 1-bedroom shack with 2 or 3 kids to a 3-bedroom home, what is it? The love of stuff?
There's a difference between what you need and what you want. There's a difference between luxury and having something that is serviceable. There are levels to this shit, so we don't have to like pretend like we don't know that there's a middle ground. So what I'm saying is
Right.
that there's a large propensity of people who like to live above their means, and most of those people look like me. So it wouldn't matter if they had $10 in their pocket or $10,000 in their pocket. They do extravagant shit, and we mismanage our money a lot. And it don't matter how much you make. I know a lot of people who look rich and poor as a fuck. They got all that stuff and no money. All they need is one catastrophe, one trip to the hospital, and they're gonna be right back here with me foreclosing their shit. So do we owe anything? Technically speaking, I guess not. You don't owe a homeless man to give him $1 because he asked for it. Just don't be mad if he allows something to happen to you and he see it and he don't say nothing. Or maybe he's the perpetrator. I'm just saying, people, you get what you give out. The energy you give out, that's what you get back. So if you got all for me, for mine, ain't enough scarcity mentality, then we will continue to walk around this circle of the haves and the have-nots, even amongst our own people, and we'll never be able to build.
Yes,
Never
so
be able to build because everybody's looking at everybody else's food as food or a predator. Either you food to me, or I'm a predator to you. You see what I'm saying?
You're talking from the hill. You're talking from the top of the hill. Can you talk to us mere mortals?
But everybody don't want to build with everybody don't want to build with each other.
Right.
Everybody don't want to build with each other. I'm sorry,
everybody doesn't want to sacrifice their children and remain in a place.
Black don't mean that's because I'm black don't mean me and Chef gotta get along. Because Chef is black and I'm black don't mean we gotta get along, and don't mean we gotta build together. Because I know plenty of black folks don't want to build with each other. You know why? Because they say they get on their damn nerves. You know why? Because they want a discount. You know why? When they got black business, they always want something else. No,
there you go with that shit.
I'm just keeping it 100.
Hey, listen.
No, it's like why does my family and my children have to be subject to your social experiment? Why does my children and my family have to be the ones that submit to the social experiment to create the utopia that you wish to come about? Evolution is the long process, which means they are not even going to be the ones that affect the full actual change. They're just one step. So why do I submit my progeny, my legacy, my children to your social experiment because you believe that that's what's owed?
You said it's my social experiment.
That's I'm calling
But
it
you
the
have,
social experiment.
but you have to acknowledge that we're already in a social experiment. This
Bro, you
is a
gonna answer
social
one
construct.
question?
Huh?
I ask you a question, bro.
You said, why do you have to subject your children to my social experiment? So I'm speaking to the fact that you called it my social experiment when we're already in someone else's social experiment. So why the hell are we all subject to this particular social experiment? Why are you talking about my attempt to escape from this social experiment that I'm already a part of, that I didn't sign up for, had no part in creating?
I don't even understand that answer, but I mean, I'll take it as an answer, right?
Well,
I'm just
I
saying
mean,
the thing is because listen, go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is that when I'm never mad at the guy trying to get, okay, in Russia, right? Inside of their prison systems, it is not a crime. You do not get extra time for trying to get out. Attempting to escape is not an extra charge because they consider that a human reaction to the situation. It's natural. That's how it's supposed to be. You should want to get out. But here's the thing. In America, that shit can double your time, triple it, because they don't like when you squirm. They want you to just take it. And me personally, I'm not into taking it. So the way I feel about it is that when I'm placed inside of this social experiment, not my own, did not create this, did not vote for any of this, didn't even ask to be here, born into it. When I do what's natural to me to attempt to escape, it's also natural to me to want the other people out too. I want y'all out. Even if you're fucked up, I want you out. Because this shit is way past the kind of fucked up that you are. It may even be making you more or intensified or magnifying the villain that they're making you out to be. Some people are just conditioned, victims of circumstance. Just doing what I gotta do to feed my daughter. You understand? People all have their own reasons why. The hood ain't a monolith. They're not all motherfucking runners and gunners. Matter of fact, the majority of them are not. These people are terrorizing the hood.
But we can't say
so that ain't who we talking about when we're talking about reaching back.
But who are the people terrorizing the hood? Who are they?
And our own people terrorizing the hood.
Wait. No, I want to hear Vic with when you said these people that are terrorizing the hood. I want it to be unequivocal. Like who? When you say these people, that's terrorizing a smaller set of people. Who are those people that you're referring to? Because it sounds to me like they're actual constituents of that same environment.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's divisions. That's why I say it's not a monolith.
Right. There's divisions.
If you walk into an American prison, if you walk into an American prison right now, pick one, spin the wheel and pick one. You will not find all criminals. They're just people who's in there. And then there's a whole bunch of criminals and convicts and felons and that are made for that should be there. And then there's a whole bunch of people that got fucked up but probably shouldn't be there. But the longer they stay there, the more they become like those other people. The more the conditions make them more of that thing. And then you pretend like you're rehabilitating them. Then you pretend like you're rehabilitating them and then release them on the public.
Exactly. So you just made the point, that the overarching point that I've been trying to make.
It's our own
you
people.
Stated that the more that they are subject to that specific environment, that they have a higher propensity or become more prone to a particular subset of actions or reactions based on the stimulus. So that's the point that I'm making. And that's one of the reasons that I'm stating that I agree. When we make it, we need to bounce. Now, hold on one second. Du Bois ZB said, Europeanism is all I hear as y'all expound on your points. We are all subject to artificial construction that has a sunken and superficial reality. Nonetheless, it's our reality, however. So, to some degree, I could see in terms of superficial reality, i.e., our own individual matrix or matrices.
ZB, I can't have you on the sidelines in this conversation, right, bro. You gotta come up, man. You ain't got to cam up, but you got to come up and explain that.
You know, but from what I see, it's almost what I call the Juana Washingtonism, where he's speaking above the construct as opposed to in it. He's basically saying y'all are arguing some artificial stuff that's not even real, you know, but we're gonna leave that one on the side and bring it back. I wanna bring somebody else to give their opinion on this piece.
Gotta leave the hood, bruh. Mm-hmm. You gotta leave the hood. Mm-hmm. Can't be in the hood, bro.
And tell me why.
Because the hood is like, you gotta understand, when you come from them ends, mm-hmm, it's struggle.
Okay.
When you come back to the hood, you come back to bless the hood. You don't come back to chill in the hood and have police, because you got enemies. Mm-hmm. You understand? So the more fame, richer, whatever you get, the more success you get, is the more angry that the people didn't like you. Mm-hmm. And you sitting there in their face all day. You think police ain't gonna be mad? I was locking this nigga up in wall, this fucking. If they mad at the dope dealers, what the fuck you think they gonna do to us?
Yeah, he didn't lie.
Piece of Smurder. Grew up right around the corner in the 90s. Church Ave, Brooklyn, you know what it is. Welcome home. But back to this. What do y'all think? You know, any opinions about what Bobby just talked about?
I agree with him. I do agree with him what he said. I do. I think it's so sad that, you know, us Black people, if we get money and we want to move out into a better neighborhood, the community is upset. And this is the thing. I find myself looking at these rappers who go back to the communities and then they try to help their community and then they get killed. And my personal thing is keep that ass out the hood. Send a check. Send one of your homeboys who live there. Just do it that way. Stay up, ask where you and your family is, and just send some checks, send some money. Do it that way. You don't have to show your face and show your body and stay on out where you're at in your suburban community where your family is safe. Send the checks, send your allies, your people, your homeboys out there help. You don't got to show up.
Fear.
Okay. Wait. I'm gonna let Vic address that. I thought you said fear.
Fear.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
Fear.
Yeah.
F-E-A-R.
That's gonna get killed. Yes, I'm fear. Yeah, I want to be around to raise my kids. Yes, I said it. I want to be around to raise my damn kids. I don't want my kids to lose their father early. Yes, I said it. Damn it. And I will tell any Black man, he got plenty of money. Send your hood money. Send your allies. You got homeboys. Keep your ass away from there. Period. I don't care who mad with me. We got too many brothers are being killed in their own hood who they grew up with trying to get back. No. Now look at Dolph's wife, and he got 2 kids without their father. That's fucked up. I got a problem with that.
I agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all are witnessing the first lady of the Chef Network, Andrea Lynch. She has a lot of emotion. Yo, Andrea, go a little. You know, look, I'm even trying to ease up on my F-bombs because we on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get a little Disney Plus. You know what I mean?
Okay. Too many Black men. Dolph got a family. I think about. I paid for that mother. Do you know what it is to raise your children without their father? Them children were small children. Might not even remember their daddy, but only in some pictures. No. If I was dog friend, brother, keep your behind where you and your family is safe, and I will take the damn check down there.
Can I ask y'all something real quick?
Sure.
I'm a proponent of solutions. That's kind of my thing, and I don't really mind how you get to them. I would prefer to maintain my morality whilst doing those things, but that's about the only thing that would exclude me from not taking a specific measure. And I'm not above sacrificing morality to get the desired result. So what I'm saying, or my question is, if our let's speak to the results. Are you under the impression that as long as you move, because I'm gonna come back to that middle class thing, but are you under the impression that as long as you move out the hood and you never go back, that you will be safe?
No. Mm-mm. You could be shot, stabbed in the white neighborhood, but you got more likely to be shot and stabbed in the hood where your own people is proximity, okay, and where your own people is will hurt you.
Would you acknowledge that the challenges wherever you should move may be different from the last place you live? You can go from this hood to this hood and have a completely different experience.
That's true.
So all hoods aren't built equal, and all suburban areas aren't the same either. I've seen
No, you're
some
not.
suburban areas with cul-de-sacs and townhouses that go harder than any hood. So here's what I'm proposing is that flight is a band-aid. It works and it will stop the bleeding for sure. And if your concern is to stop the bleeding and you don't want that blood to get on your children, then cover them in the blood of Jesus. But I also offered, when we started this conversation, not today, but the last conversation, because I think where we got off originally was the fact that we were saying, and when I say we, I mean you all were giving the impression to me
Mm-hmm.
that there was no in between the hood and a glorified upper class white neighborhood. And I believe that there are middle class and upper class black neighborhoods. When I say black, I mean just predominantly black, not completely black. Don't need segregation. You just need more representation. I was passing through an affluent hood today, not hood, but area, and I saw several East Indian children running and playing, and they looked so comfortable with each other. But I understood that if they had on their ethnic garb and clothing, that I know how people treat things that they don't understand, but they were so comfortable in their own skin, and I don't find any problem with that. If you want to say white power, shout out to you, because I'm gonna throw up the black fist every time you see me. But that doesn't mean that, okay, now I have to hate another culture because I want to support my own. I feel more comfortable with my own. I want to be in these areas that are predominantly people that I feel more comfortable with. But I noticed that a lot of our people are completely uncomfortable around their own people.
Well,
And
you
I'm
see,
thinking that there's a misrepresentation of this ground in between the hood and doing better than the hood.
all right,
There
Vic,
are other spaces that
but you've been
you can
cooking for
exist in that aren't the hood.
you've been cooking for a second, right? When I'm stating, so I'm gonna drop this before I move to the next point. one thing I'm saying is Andrea stated what she stated, and what you pushed back with was the term, one word, four-letter word, fear.
Fear.
Right. But the craziest thing is the actual foundational point or overarching emotion to drive what you're stating right now is the fear of some sort of hypothetical issue based on race, socioeconomics, and geography. So you're utilizing the same thing, fear of something else. But now, remember I made that joke? I was like, yo, bro, you're a communist or something? Because in terms of the way that it seems that you're looking at movement or progress, it seems as though progress is something that you're reaching for out of some lack of what you wanted. You stated of what you never had, or wanting to assimilate to be like someone else. Why can't you want better? If I'm a guy that likes to drive fast and I like to race, yeah, I can go fast in my straight pipe Honda Civic, okay? But at some point, I recognize the levels of speed. I want to move to a Challenger. I want a Hellcat. I want to move to a Ferrari. You get what I'm saying? That's progress. And in order for us as a people to progress and to move forward, then we have to think progressively, forward, progressively. The almost antithetical part in terms of what you're speaking at is complacency. Well, you know what? I don't need that. Yeah, I could, listen, look, I was able to raise 3-4 kids on 8 packs of ramen a week. We could do that. So now I'm making 150 grand. I'll just make it 16 packs of ramen a week. No. I want them to know what steak tastes like. I want them to know better. I want them to know what the hell is shrimp or lobster. I want them to know what it tastes like. I want them to know sushi. I want them to know all of that. I would be getting over on them by I'm just flipping to 16 packs of ramen. No. Why can't we progress as a people? Do you realize if we don't progress our way into some of those places, there's certain amounts of control that we need to exert from within. But if we sit from the outside, we'll never have a Trojan horse to push within the walls of that kingdom, because we're comfortable living on the outskirts, satisfied with an extra spoon. That's just my opinion.